Have you ever simply watched water? You cup your hands to hold it, and the tighter you squeeze, the faster it runs through your fingers. And if you clutch, if you make a fist in panic, you are left with only dampness, a memory of what was there. Or perhaps you have tried to catch smoke. You see this beautiful swirling column rising from a stick of incense, and you want to hold it. You grasp at it, and poof, it's gone. It has dispersed. The very act of grabbing destroyed the form you admired. This is the curious paradox, the enormous cosmic joke of our entire existence. We are taught from the very beginning that to have something, you must get it. You must secure it. You must hold on. We are trained to be graspers. We are told that life is a challenge, a competition, a struggle, and you must apply effort. You must make things happen. And so, we try to grasp happiness. We try to grasp security. We try to grasp love. We even try to grasp God. We try to make ourselves serene. We try to force ourselves to be spontaneous. And what happens? The very effort, the strain of the grasping, is precisely what pushes the thing away. To try to be happy is to immediately create an agitation. It is to confess that you are not happy and to set up a conflict within yourself between what is and what you think should be. And that conflict is the very essence of unhappiness. You try to grasp security. You try to build a wall around yourself to make everything permanent, predictable. You try to nail the future down. But the future, like the smoke, refuses to be nailed down. And the wall you build does not keep sorrow out. It merely locks you in. You become a prisoner of your own defense. Life eludes you. It eludes you, not because it is tricky or malicious. It eludes you because you are trying to separate yourself from it in order to possess it. You cannot possess the wind. You cannot put the sky in a box. You see, we have been profoundly hypnotized. We have been bewitched by an idea. The idea that I am separate from my experience, that I am the thinker, separate from my thoughts, that I am the feeler, separate from my feelings, that I am the isolated ego, this skin-encapsulated center of consciousness, and life is this vast alien thing that is happening to me. We feel that life is a river flowing past, and we are sitting on the bank, desperately trying to scoop up a bucketful to call our own. We want to stop the river. We want to own it. But you are the river. You are not in the universe. You are the universe. You are not a stranger here. You are not a brief flash of consciousness, accidentally appearing in a dead, stupid mechanism of atoms. You are the waving of the whole cosmos. You are rather like a wave in the ocean. And the wave, this little anxious wave, looks around and sees all the other waves rising and falling. And it thinks, oh dear, I must maintain my waveness. I must hold myself together. Look at that big wave. He's doing it right. Look at that little one. She's about to crash. And this poor wave spends its entire existence in a state of chronic tension, trying to hold its shape, trying to grasp the water. That is its very substance. But of course, the wave is the ocean. The wave is the ocean, waving. It doesn't need to grasp the water because it is the water. The thought of grasping is absurd. The thought of losing the water is impossible. And so it is with you. This I, this grasper, that you feel is your innermost self, is a phantom. It is a concept. It is a persistent tension, a chronic muscular ache learned in childhood to make an effort, control yourself, be somebody. And this phantom is terrified. It knows, deep down, that it's temporary. It knows the wave must return to the sea. It knows this form, this idea of me, is transient. And so it grasps, it clutches, at moments, at possessions, at ideas, at people, at doctrines, trying to build a permanent fortress on shifting sand. It is utterly exhausting, trying to hold on, trying to control the uncontrollable, trying to make the process stop and become a product. But life is not a product. Life is a process. And the moment you try to grasp it, you kill it. You stop the flow. You are like a person who goes to a banquet and spends the entire evening reading the menu, discussing the chemical composition of the food, arguing about the recipes, but never actually tasting the meal. We are starving at a feast. We are so busy trying to define life, analyze it, categorize it, judge it, capture it, that we have forgotten how to live it. We are looking at life rather than being it. And the looking at, the analyzing, the judging, that is the grasp. You are trying to take a snapshot of a river, and the moment you take the snapshot, it is no longer the river. It is a fixed, dead image, and the water, the real water, has already moved on. So, we are collectors of dead snapshots. We call it our past. We cherish these snapshots, these memories, these photographs in the mind, and we say, this was me. This was happiness. And we try to recreate it. We try to force the new, living, flowing water into the old, rigid, dead shape of the snapshot. And we are endlessly, profoundly disappointed. Or we are busy printing snapshots of the future. We call this planning, ambition, hope. We create a beautiful, fixed image of what should be, and we spend all our energy trying to bend the river to match our photograph. And all the while, the river, life, is flowing now. It is flowing. In the sound of the traffic outside, in the feeling of the breath entering and leaving your lungs, in the sensation of the floor beneath your feet. But the grasper, the anxious I, cannot feel it. It cannot be here. It is too busy, guarding its pile of dead snapshots of yesterday, or frantically trying to paint the snapshots of tomorrow. Why? Why do we do this? It is because we are terrified of emptiness. The grasper, the ego, believes that if it stops grasping, it will cease to exist. It will dissolve. It will be nothing. And it is perfectly right. It will be nothing, because it is nothing. It is a tension, a habit, a concept. It has no more substance than the shape of the smoke or the form of the wave. And so, to protect this illusion of substance, it must always be busy, always grasping, always checking, always controlling. The real you, the fundamental you, that is the ocean, that is the water, that is the whole works, that does not need to grasp. It is already everything. How can you grasp what you are? The you that is the entire universe cannot be afraid, but the you that is the little separate tense ego is nothing but fear. And the peak, the summit of this fear is the fear of death. We grasp at life precisely because we are afraid to die. But what is this death that we fear? It is the final letting go. It is the ultimate release of the grasp. It is the wave returning to the ocean. And the ego looks at this and says, example, that is the end. Obliteration, a total terrifying failure. But the ocean just smiles. Because the ocean knows there are no other waves. It is all one, water. The death of the wave is simply the water being water in a less wavy way for a moment. You see, we have been taught to think of life as a journey, with a destination. We think we are going somewhere. We think we must achieve something. We think there is a point at the end. But this is a complete misunderobjection. Life is not a journey. It is a dance, or it is a piece of music. When you listen to a symphony, do you listen in order to get to the end? Is the point of the music the final crashing chord? Of course not. If that were the point, the best conductors would be the ones who played the fastest. We would have composers writing symphonies that were just one enormous, final bang. Pause. But no, that is not how music works. The point of the music is every point. It is every note, every rest, every phrase, every movement. You are with it as it plays. You are flowing with the sound. You are in the music, and the dance is the same. You do not dance to arrive at a particular spot on the floor. The point of the dance is not the destination. The point is the dancing, the movement itself, the flowing, the turning, the being in the rhythm. And life, my friends, is exactly like that. It is a musical process. It is a dance. It is not going anywhere. It is not supposed to get you anything. It is not a problem to be solved. It is a wonder to be experienced. But the grasping mind, the anxious I, hates this. It stands on the sidelines of the dance, tapping its foot, checking its watch. Is this going anywhere? Am I doing it right? Or more queries to Google search. Only one of query or queries should be set. I improving? What is the purpose of all this spinning? And in the very asking of the question, it stops the music. It loses the rhythm. It becomes clumsy, self-conscious, tense. It is no longer dancing. It is trying to dance correctly. And the two are worlds apart. To try to dance is to be in conflict with your own feet. To dance is to be the music. To try to grasp life is to be in conflict with the universe. To live is to be the universe. So what does one do? You see, the grasper immediately asks, what do I do? What is the method? What is the system for letting go? And this is the cosmic joke all over again. You cannot try to let go. The effort to let go is the grasp. You cannot make yourself relax. The making is the tension. You cannot force the hand to open, but you can become aware of the clenching. You can simply see the futility of it. You can feel the ache, the enormous, unnecessary strain of trying to hold the water in your fist. And perhaps in that clear seeing, in that deep, honest recognition of the absurdity of the grasp, the hand just opens all by itself. You don't do it. It happens. You realize you are the water. You always were. The fist was just a misunderstanding, a bad habit. And when the hand opens, what do you find? You find that you haven't lost anything. You find that in letting go of the idea of life, you have finally received all of it. You receive the sky because you are not trying to box it. You receive the music because you are not trying to rush to the end. You receive the water because you are no longer fighting the flow. You are no longer at war with yourself. You discover what was always true, but what the grasper could never, ever see. You discover that the universe is fundamentally playful. The grasper, the anxious ego, takes everything so terribly seriously. I must survive. I must be right. I must win. It is a creature of utmost gravity. But the universe, the whole vast, intelligent, cosmic dance, is not serious. It is sincere, but not serious. It is playing. It is playing at being you. It is playing the game of hide and seek. The one, pretending to be the many. God, pretending to be a human being who has forgotten that he is God. And what a marvelous, exquisite game. For you to have the experience of finding yourself, you must first have the experience of losing yourself. For you to have the thrill of remembering, you must first forget. This grasping, this anxiety, this feeling of being a separate ego, that is the forgetting. It is part of the game. It is the hiding part of hide and seek. And we get so lost in the role, so convinced by our own disguise, that we forget it is a disguise. We start to believe with all our hearts that I am just this poor little separate clenching fist, and we suffer. We suffer the illusion of separation. But the moment of awakening, the moment the hand opens, is the moment the game reveals itself. It is the seek part. It is the great aha, the cosmic gotcha. You realize, I am that. I am not the fist. I am the hand. I am not the wave. I am the ocean. I am not the separate, anxious I. I am the whole, blinking, playful works. And with that, the terror dissolves. Because if you are the whole thing, what is there to be afraid of? What can you lose? You cannot lose yourself. What can harm you? You cannot attack yourself. Where can you go that is outside of yourself? All the striving, all the grasping was based on a fundamental cosmic blunder, a case of mistaken identity. You were God, playing the role of a person who was desperately grasping for God. And you see, this letting go is not an achievement. It is not a moral victory. It is not something the ego does to get enlightenment. It is simply waking up from the dream of the grasper. It is ceasing to do the impossible, the unnecessary, the exhausting work of fighting your own self. So, what happens then? Do you dissolve into a puddle of indifferent jelly? Do you float away? Does the world stop? Chuckles softly. Oh no, no, no. Quite the contrary. When you stop grasping, you start living. For the very first time, you eat when you are hungry. You sleep when you are tired. You listen to the music while it is playing. You are no longer haunted. You are no longer in second-guessing the universe. You are no longer trying to be the general manager of the cosmos. You are free to be exactly what you are. This flowing pattern, this dance of energy, this present moment. You discover that the sacred, the divine, the eternal is not somewhere else. It is not after death. It is not in the sky. It is this. It is the texture of the wood on the table. It is the light coming through the window. It is the sound of my voice and the feeling of your own breathing. It is so simple, so obvious, so present. But the grasper, the striver, cannot see it. It is looking for something more, something spiritual, something else. And so it misses everything. It misses the feast because it is complaining about the menu. So let the fist unclench. Let the tension, which you call I, dissolve. Stop trying. Stop trying to get life. Stop trying to understand life and just be it. Be the flow. Be the music. Be the water. There is nothing to hold on to, and there is nothing to lose. The hand was always empty, and it was always full.